My 13-year-old son was telling me the other day that the picture with the most likes on Instagram is the photo of an egg. This plain egg, which probably a lot of you know by now, also referred to as the world record egg, actually gathered more than 53 million likes on the web. It would have been posted as an attempt to get more likes than a photo posted by Kylie Jenner, an American socialite and cosmetic industry celebrity. Now, in this world with super easy access to mass worldwide information and instant communication on the web, a herd behavior, that is, liking, following, and adhering to conformist views, is actually facilitated by technology. And tonight, I'd like to show you how this herd mentality is one of the principal hindrances to innovation, and that setting a trend to pivot 180 degrees, or upside down, I won't do that, or out to space and hopefully back again, is exactly what we need to progress. Now, my goal is that each person tonight goes home and thinks about how the follower mentality and conformism might be holding back the open-mindedness and the individualism that's truly required to innovate and take action. So when I told my son that I was going to use some of the stuff that he talks to me about for a speech on innovation, he thought, awesome. But then when he learned how I was going to use that information, he said, wait a minute, do you mean you're going to use my example to say that people like me are following stupid stuff on the internet and that we're doing actually the opposite of what we should be doing to truly innovate? And I said, yeah. So what do I mean with conformism hinders true innovation? Well, the more we simply follow each other's footsteps, the less effort is actually put on challenging the status quo and radically innovating. Now, I've been working in the field of innovation for the past 6 years, and I'm now heading the Startup and Next Generation Innovators Division at InnoSwiss, the Swiss Innovation Agency. And in my work, we do everything we can to set the stage for the development of radical innovation. But a lot of the innovation we see still circles around the same topics. A lot of innovations presented to us are using technology, say a new app, for example, and they're using it to make something that's already being done more efficient. That's good. One of the firms, the Swiss firms that I came across this year, for example, developed a connected bottle opener. Cool, but that won't change the world. Now, developing yet another app to bring another incremental benefit to the economy is good and is needed, but what would be even better, and what I would like to see much more of, are breakthrough innovations that address the world's real problems. Climate, poverty, refugees, human rights, women's rights. This is where we need innovation. Now, our status quo might be individually very comfortable, but collectively, and looking into the long term, there's a major need to radically innovate. Now, my plea with this speech is to break with the current thinking patterns and the follower mentality, and to unfollow the herd to truly, radically innovate where it really matters. Now, don't just think outside the box, but shove the box out of the window and go actively hunting for new ideas that will make a difference where we need it. But how can we actually do that? Well, first of all, let's look at what makes an innovation truly radical or disruptive. Now, one of the most commonly accepted definitions of a disruptive innovation is an innovation that creates an entirely new market and a new value network in a given market segment. Take, for example, the ultrasound in the X-ray technology market, or digital photography in the chemical photo segment. Or take smartphones in the mobile phone or even in the laptop market segments, where it not only disrupted those markets, but significantly changed many social, behavioral, and other aspects of the lives of so many people on this planet. But how do these types of innovations actually come to life? Well, typically, disruptive innovations can occur because they originate in two types of markets that the current market players typically tend to overlook: the lower end market and markets that are new from the start. So in the first case, the lower end market, innovation opportunities exist because the current market players mostly focus on their most profitable customers by trying to offer them improved products and services based on incremental innovations. But by doing that, they pay less attention to less demanding or different customers. Take Netflix, for example. Now, Netflix started targeting the lower-end subset of Blockbuster's customers, either those that were not interested in having the all-new movie releases, or those that were willing to wait for a few days for their videos to arrive by postal mail. So they got into that segment, and eventually, as technology evolved, they were able to shift to online streaming, then offering an on-demand, low-price, and super convenient service that led them in the end to largely outperform Blockbuster. So the tactic here is mainly to start with either low-end or unserved customers, and then to migrate to the mainstream market. And this is where unfollowing the herd comes in. Now, if we take some of the real-world problems that I was citing earlier, take climate change, for example. Many firms are focusing on trying to make their products greener and more environmentally friendly, and by doing that, they develop products that are better, but oftentimes more expensive. But I'm convinced that for a solution to make a real difference, if a minimally viable solution was developed that could be adopted cheaply and pragmatically by the masses, this would have a much larger impact. Now, the second type of market where disruptive innovation occurs are markets that are new from the start. In this case, the unfollower principle is even more important because actually the people that suffer from the real-world problems that I was citing earlier are never even considered as customers of the existing firms in the first place. This leaves the door wide open for disruptors. Refugees, discrimination victims, the poor. Those are not the typical customers that are targeted by most of the drivers of innovation today. But they have a lot of unmet needs. And by focusing on these mostly untapped markets, a disruptor can thereafter broaden the adoption of their innovative solutions to other markets and in much higher volume, in the end becoming truly successful and making a difference where it really matters. Now, another element that I believe is key for the development of radical innovation is interdisciplinarity. Now, most of our research organizations today are still somewhat silo-structured. But then again, most of the radical innovations we see stem from the combination of different disciplines and different thought structures. Now, I'm convinced that to truly ignite innovative ideas, that we should force ourselves to immerse in different disciplines and also let our own ideas be confronted by different mindsets, different cultures, by confronting ourselves to the other. Now, after having studied in business and economics and working in management consulting for a few years, I decided to follow my passion for the arts and study in art gallery and museum studies. And during this time, what I found the most inspiring were my courses with the contemporary art students in their quest for innovative, creative paths. And it seems that this little interdisciplinary experience had a huge effect on me, as I often go back to the learnings from this experience when I'm looking for new views or new ways in how to attack a situation or a problem. Now, I also particularly want to address the women in the audience tonight, as we still see much too little innovation and entrepreneurial activities come from women in Switzerland. Now, it seems that despite the desire of a lot of women to engage in innovative entrepreneurial activities, that there's still a large gap in taking action. But if more women would actually engage, this would also increase the diversity in the way that problems are solved. Last but not least, I believe that to make things happen, we need to act based on true passion and engagement. Now, if we all felt urged to change something that really matters, this could lead to fantastic results. So let's feel inspired by people who had that drive and determination, like Alfred Escher, who had a vision to develop the banking sector, to develop the railroads, to create the ETH, and who shaped Switzerland as we know it today. So unfollow the herd, embrace diversity, link to others, and make amazing things happen. Thank you very much.